Hello, and thank you for joining me today on this tour of the Frost Entomological Museum. My name is Michael Scavarla. I'm a professor of arthropod identification here at Penn State. And before we get into the tour of the museum, I'd like to show you exactly where it's located so you know where to find it when you come to campus. So if we turn this direction, that is the Agricultural Science and Industries building. It's where some of the entomology department is housed up on the 5th floor. If we look over this direction, that is the creamery. They have some of the best ice cream in Pennsylvania, and you can tell from the distance it is from where most of entomology is. We have people often have meetings outside here and get ice cream while they're at it. If we turn around across the street, here is the Frost Museum across the road in that head house over there. So here we're at the Frost Museum. Why don't you follow me inside? So when you first come into the museum, we come into our public space. The displays here are somewhat dynamic. Some of them change through time, others are more permanent. So here on the right, we have a display of a variety of different kinds of insect collecting equipment and ways to capture insects. The public often doesn't think of things like hand traps as a way to collect insects, and we want to show them how we do what we do and how we get the specimens that we need. Over here, we have a brief history of the Frost Museum, starting with Stuart Frost and then going through various curators through time, and some of what those curators did, including paraphernalia from their own research. We also have a station set up where visitors can look through a microscope. This is very popular with kids, and they like to see some of the various things that we have under a microscope. We also have a variety of displays of native and some exotic insects. This whole wall over here are insects of Pennsylvania. And then some more exotic insects over here, including cutouts of some large extinct insects to give visitors an idea of more insect diversity that they could find outside of this region. If you'll come with me this way. We also have some displays about pollinators and honeybees. Those are always very popular. As well as some displays over here about invasive insects, and particularly about spotted lanternfly, which is a major pest in Pennsylvania that was introduced a few years ago, and we're still trying to get a handle on how to control it. We have one final hallway in the Frost public space. Right now, it is a display that is focused on gall wasps. There's a number of students working on gall research right now in the Frost Museum. And so this is focused on their research. Now this is a dynamic space, and these exhibits do change through time. And we're always looking for somebody to come in and suggest ideas. And if you want to take the lead on developing some kind of exhibit, you are more than welcome to get with Laura and Andy, the curator and director of the museum, to develop your own display of perhaps your own research or just something that you're interested in. Now if we come this way, we will get into the research side and the research collection of the Frost Museum. Now this space is off limits to the public. We have this area at the front of the museum that is available to students and visiting researchers and anyone else here that is coming to do research. We have a variety of microscopes that can be pulled out, all of the equipment that you might need for specimen processing, and that all happens up here at the front. We also sometimes do teaching displays with small groups or students and professors. We have these whiteboards at the front for that. So if we turn this way, this is where the main collection is housed. We have approximately 1.3 million insects in about 1,600 square feet of storage space. Recently in 2020, we got a grant to expand the collection space, and so we had these compactors installed. And these things are great. They're so smooth. It just takes one hand to operate them. And it really increases the number of specimens that we can house in this relatively small space. finish opening this cabinet. Really hoping there's not a chair back there. And if we come in here and open up these cabinets, you can see it's pretty standard. If you've ever been into an insect museum or an entomological museum, you have your standard drawers and cabinets with sorted and labeled specimens. So the Frost Museum is strong, has strong collections in a number of groups. Historically, we've done a lot of work on aphids and lice. We have two of the best collections for lice and aphids in the United States and even in the world. There's been less focus on those groups more recently, and more recently we've developed a very strong collection in regional pollinators, thanks in part because a number of professors and students at Penn State have been working on those groups and vouchering their specimens here. Now, it's not just pollinators we're interested in vouchering. If you're working on any kind of insects that you're collecting, you are more than welcome and in fact encouraged to voucher those specimens in the museum at the end of your research, so that those specimens then can act as a way to double check those IDs in the future and increase the reproducibility of science. That's what we're here for. We have really good representation of a variety of regional groups, and so if you're working on some kind of biodiversity project or have specimens that you want to double check, you are welcome to come over to the Frost and pull specimens of that species or those taxa and look at identified specimens and compare those to the specimens that you have so you can double check your own identifications. We're here for that as well. And then finally, we also have an outreach collection that is available if you are doing outreach. You can come borrow our pin specimens. We have a couple of wild boxes and examples of Pennsylvania insects and other outreach collections that you can take when you're doing outreach events to show the public various insects.
Hi, I'm Laura Porturis, and I'm the collection manager at the Frost Museum. If you end up coming to Penn State and you need access to the collections, I'll be your point person to contact for that. I'm happy to help you with anything that you need or you think you might need. Part of my job is to try to help facilitate research for you guys, and so I look forward to meeting you.